First off, if you are thinking to yourself right now, "Oh my god, Aiden, you're so late with your best of 2020 video," you are fucking stupid. It's called best of for a reason. It's the best of the year, not best of the year with some of last year. The candidates for this list stop when the year ends, and the fact that the Game of the Year nominees started in fucking November is... So with that out of the way, let me start with the rules for this list. Number 1, no repeats, sequels, or continuations. Meaning if I played the original of the game and the sequel, I will choose the one I like most. So if I liked Bugsnax 1 and 2, but I liked one more, then 1 would be on the list and not 2. Second, no game compilations. I played a lot of game compilations this year, and no one game from them or the compilation itself will be on the list. Third, I had to have started and finished the game this year. For example, I finished Sonic Mania this year, but I started it before then. Fourth, these are not full-on reviews, just quick summaries what I like about them. Finally, these are the games I played this year. They don't have to be games that exclusively came out in 2020. 2020 was a shitty year, but here are some games that made the year, well, less shitty. Alright, so with that out of the way, here are my top 10 games that I played in 2020.
Nice.
This is one of those games where I completely forgot I played in 2020 because the year felt so damn long. My friend Pedro is exactly how it is described. You got a ballerina, gave them a shit ton of guns, and gave them an obstacle course filled with enemies and said, "Go." To quote the great IGN, it made you feel like James Bond mixed with Jason Bourne, mixed with any other badass, with most of their movie budget spent on the CGI for the slow motion. This game is also balls to the fucking walls crazy with its story and characters. The story isn't necessarily the best, but thankfully the game isn't trying to be super serious and doesn't focus on everything on it, and just puts the spotlight on the gameplay, which is without a shadow of a doubt the best part. If you want to fire a million fucking bullets into 2 hitmen off of a goddamn frying pan, definitely give this a go if you want a short and a fun experience.
Nice.
This really is one of those games that sounds absolutely batshit insane, completely stupid, and in no way should ever work. I mean, a game about a love triangle with puzzle mechanics that has you trying to escape the clutches of fucking hell itself? Sounds stupid, but yet it completely works. What I was just saying was my initial thought of the game when I first saw the gameplay of it. But it wasn't until Catherine came over to Switch and my dumbass not realizing the same game was the game that tested the waters for Persona 5.
It really reminds me of Persona 5.
Was when I gave the game a try. Yes, I was one of the few thousands to buy the game on Switch. Honestly, that's kind of hilarious. But if you want an insane puzzle game with some interesting cutscenes and dialogue, give it a go on Switch.
Nice.
One of the final games to come to Switch from the Wii U has arrived, and it was definitely worth the wait and the full price again. I mean, we are getting 3D World in February, so for pretty much everyone, the Wii U is dead. Almost. During the Wii U era, I didn't really play games except for Star Fox Zero, ew, and Mario games, so I didn't play Pikmin 3, but I really wanted to ever since I declined to. I was super happy when I saw the announcement on Twitter and couldn't wait to play it. As I already mentioned before, it was definitely worth the wait, and Deluxe adds so much new content that if you are a Pikmin fan, you will definitely love this along getting more Pikmin. And if you are a newcomer like me, you'll definitely get just as hooked as I did. Now, we can all wait for Pikmin 4 to never come out.
Nice.
Remember when we thought this was the most controversial game of 2020? If only. But I didn't personally have as much of a grudge against the game than other people did going into it. The reason being, I never played the first 3 Paper Marios. I remember going to Toys R Us with my grandfather when I was really little and seeing Super Paper Mario being advertised on the way in. I love Mario, but I was more interested in getting toys than a new Mario game. So my introduction to the series was actually Sticker Star. I know, the forbidden game. But I kinda liked it when I first played it as a kid, but couldn't beat the final boss because, again, I was a stupid kid. But I went back and beat the final boss this year and realized this isn't a good game at all. I played Color Splash when it first came out and I loved it, but thought the combat wasn't the strongest. So I was extremely happy to see the fucking stickers and cards gone, and that change actually made this game that much more enjoyable. I really like Olivia and Bobby too. Also, this game is really funny. Color Splash was already hilarious, and this game does not disappoint in that department. Don't get me wrong, I still have problems with the game. Like, there not being original characters due to some retarded reason because of fucking Sticker Star. But, what can you do? But I still enjoyed this game so much that I kept up my tradition of 100%ing every Paper Mario game I play. I did not do the other 2 endings that are required to officially 100% it because I just don't care. This game is fun, but if you really only like the more traditional Paper Mario games, this won't win you over. But hey, I liked it, so that's why it's on here.
Nice.
This is the game of the year for 2020. The year itself. I'm not shocking anyone when I say this because everyone has said it, but there really hasn't been a better game release than Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's like Nintendo knew the pandemic was going to hit and released Animal Crossing then. I've never played an Animal Crossing game, so while everyone else was freaking out the new Animal Crossing game during E3 2019, I was freaking over Luigi's Mansion 3 because I'm a sucker for that series and it's my favorite spin-off series of all time. But I can now say that I'm a big fan. I really don't play it anymore, but I did tune in for the countdown on New Year's in Animal Crossing. And also, this is off script, but after writing the script, I played this on my birthday, which was the 25th of January, and it was just so sweet seeing all the new animals there. I mean, not new, but all my villagers there just wishing me a happy birthday. It was just really sweet. Also, during March through June, I was completely hooked on the game. I would hop in every day to do my chores in it, or just try to fill up my museum, or make my island look more pretty. I have the exact number of hours in this game as the number of days in a normal year. This game single-handedly saved 2020, and that's why it's the game of the year for 2020, but not the game of the year. Make sense? No? Too bad. But yeah, get it, play it, have fun.
Nice.
You want to know a game I absolutely fell in love with? Ori and the Blind Forest.
You want to see me do it again?
I'm going to say something that is completely unbelievably shocking and is a hot take. Ready? This game is fucking gorgeous. I know. Where do I come up with these insane opinions? But seriously, this is the most gorgeous game I've ever played. The visual storytelling is also masterful. There is not a word of spoken dialogue, and it's mostly just visual with explanations and backstories, and it's done brilliantly. The gameplay is also fun as hell. I keep looking at games like Metroid and Hollow Knight, and I keep thinking I won't like them because of their gameplay. Then I remember how much I loved the 2 Ori games. The exploration is incredibly fun to do, and there's always seems to be like there's more to an area that meets the eye, and you just want to check out that mysterious opening in the wall, and there's always something hidden away in it. The areas are well thought out, and the platforming is godlike. The combat is even better, and the bash is one of the best platforming ideas ever. Everything about Will-O-The-Wisps is incredible. Only problem I have with it is at one point when I was doing a time trial, I restarted the trial, and for some reason Ori was gone and I couldn't move. I loaded another checkpoint and I was still gone. This glitch made me have to close the game and reopen it. There were some less minor glitches, but this was the biggest. Other than that, best Metroidvania I've ever played.
Nice.
I played Doom 2016 earlier this year to get ready for the sequel back in March. And since I don't have an Xbox, and will probably never want to, I wanted to wait for Eternal to come out on Switch. And you know how long that took, but it was worth it. This game is criminally fun. Like, how would IGN want to put it? Oh right, it makes you feel like you're ripping and tearing through demons. You want a jungle gym where you can go fucking nuts on a bunch of demons? Go for it. I tried playing this game as fast and as hard as I could, and the game just said, huh, that's cute, try to break this game, and it will fucking spit back at you and ask if that's all you got. And the Switch port is probably the best port I've ever seen. This game is running on a fucking Nintendo Switch. Only problem I encountered was when there was a visual glitch and the game kept flashing black. But other than that, I can't get enough of how fun this game is. And that soundtrack, oh my god. The song that you are listening to right now, I have been listening to non-stop. I love you, Mick Gordon. But this game is 100% something you have got to play. And definitely the best FPS I've ever played.
Nice.
When I first played Breath of the Wild, I liked it. I didn't adore it like everyone else, because I had some problems with it, and I still do. But after all these years, I've grown to love it even more. But I was so hyped for Age of Calamity, and it did not disappoint. In fact, I ended up liking Age of Calamity more than I did with Breath of the Wild. And here come the angry Zelda fans. I wasn't sure that I was going to like playing Age of Calamity after playing the demo due to the repetitiveness of the Dynasty Warriors combat, but after I got the hang of it, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, it is incredibly repetitive, but I ended up not really caring. Also, Age of Calamity did something I've never seen before. Any character that I liked in Breath of the Wild, I ended up liking even more here. But any character I hated in Breath of the Wild, I ended up hating them even more here. I also just ended up playing as Zelda whenever I could because I love her, so I didn't master all of the characters. But all of the new story content, character details, and gameplay is what made me love this game so much. I even tried to 100% this game, but there's no way in hell I'm going to ruin this game by looking for Koroks. I didn't do it in Breath of the Wild, and there's sure as hell no way I'm doing it here. I still love this game though. So these next two games coming up are not only my two favorite games of the year, but are also now my first two 10 out of 10s for something. These two games are my first things ever to get a 10 out of 10 from me, which is obviously a big deal. These games have both dethroned Mario Odyssey as my favorite game of all time. Alright, so what games do I consider to be 10 out of 10s? Well,
Nice.
Persona 5 Royal is a miracle video game. So, funny story. I actually started watching a Let's Play of vanilla Persona 5 in the summer of 2019 because I main Joker in Smash Bros. and I wanted to learn more about the game where he came from, and right before I finished the first boss, I just stopped, for literally no reason. Let me know if you laughed at the funny story. But I came back when Royal came out, and I finished it in the summer, and I adored it. Now, remember how I said this game is a miracle video game? Well, what do I mean by that? First off, I despise JRPGs. Up until this year, I would never be able to get into one because I would get super bored and didn't care about anything that was going on. Second, I hate turn-based combat even more. I used to be a huge fan of the Pokemon anime when I was a kid, but could never get into any of the games no matter how hard I tried because of the turn-based combat. The only turn-based game series that I like is Paper Mario and sometimes Mario and Luigi. And finally, I really cannot get into anime. And I don't mean the art style. I mean anime. Like the over-the-top expressions and the awkward situations that the characters get into for a cheap laugh. Persona 5 has all of these, and I love it. I love the characters, I love the story, I love the world, the palaces, the godlike music, the art style. Oh my god, have you seen the fucking art style? Vanilla Persona 5 is a 9 out of 10 for me, but Royal is one of my first ever 10 out of 10s for something ever. The new touches that Royal brings in, the new areas, patches, character dialogues, more music, the new semester. The new semester on its own is a 10 out of 10. The new counselor, Dr. Maruki, is incredible. And now my favorite female character, or one of my favorite characters ever, Kasumi. Kasumi, or Violet, is my favorite thing from Royal. She has one of the most incredible character personalities, background, and story. I adore this character. She herself is a 10 out of 10. I mentioned this in a quick video I did of who I wanted Smash the most, and I said she is my most wanted character because of how much I adore this character. I would be just as happy if she was an Echo Fighter of Joker because I love her that much. Also, I mentioned all the things I usually hate but love in Royal. But how did this happen? The turn-based combat is actually engaging because each attack goes by much faster than in normal ones and is visually pleasing. Unlike Pokemon, the anime shit I mentioned is not hijacking the game like it does in most anime shows or games. It still appears a lot, but it can actually be really funny. I don't always like it, and once or twice I rolled my eyes, but it's mostly very enjoyable. This is how you do a JRPG. Also, for some reason, if you're wondering, I despise the Persona 5 community. I don't want to go into it because I will get a lot of people angry, but Alfred said it best. I quote, "It sucks to be a Persona 5 fan." Also, there is nothing wrong with wanting Persona 5 Royal to come to Switch, but also stop harassing Atlus's Twitter with it. That's it, I'm done. Can't wait for Strikers, get this game. Also, Violet, please come to Smash. Oh yeah, this is where most people put their honorable mentions. I don't really have any honorable mentions to put on this list because I either didn't like them or they break the rules I put in place. But I do have 3 games I want to mention because they really helped a lot of people through 2020. And I don't fucking care if they are dead games. Phasmophobia, Fall Guys, and Among Us are these 3 games because they exploded in popularity for a good reason. People tend to hate these stupidly popular games because they are either jealous, genuinely don't like the game, or just doing it for the meme because they can. These are all fantastic games, and they definitely deserve the spotlight that they got. Alright, with that out of the way, I need the clout, so, dead game, cringe, never was good, based. So what is my number 1 game? What possibly beat Persona 5 Royal after I just talked about how much I adore it, calling it a miracle video game, and one of my favorite characters ever, who is now my most wanted fighter in Smash, is in it. What got my first ever 10 out of 10 and has become my favorite game ever? Well, if you follow me on Twitter or YouTube, or just know me in general, you know which game I'm going to say because I have not shut up about it since June.
Nice.
So first off, hello to all of you who skipped to the end of the video to see my #1 game of 2020, and now ever. So you can now go into the comments and tell me how I'm wrong there. Or you probably just scrolled through the video and just saw everything and already left the comments, so... Xenoblade Chronicles might be the closest thing I have ever seen to perfection. I missed out on it during the Wii because I was a dumb 8-year-old kid who saw this game in GameStop and didn't see Mario, Kirby, or Pikachu on it, so I didn't bother. I missed out on it again during the Wii U and 3DS era because I honestly didn't know it was on the consoles and didn't know what it even was. I again almost skipped out on it during the Switch because I really don't like RPGs, JRPGs, and anime. But if it wasn't for Alpharad constantly screaming about this game, and Shulk being in Smash, and everyone telling me to get this game, I would have never found this masterpiece. I could talk about this game for hours, and in fact, I did. I did a nearly 2-hour video just talking about how much I love this game, and I had to scrap it because it was too long to edit. I need to summarize this game very briefly because I will go on talking about how much I adore this game. This game has the best story, characters, world, voice acting. I fucking adore you, Adam Howden, and so much more that I cannot and will not shut up about because of how much I love this game. I just mentioned Adam Howden, and I wanted to praise the living hell out of him because he is the most underrated voice actor to date. His voice work for Shulk is Oscar-winning, and the amount of emotion and life he brings to Shulk is incredible. The other voice actors are also criminally overlooked, such as Jenna Louise Coleman for portraying Melia. I get that she is mostly known for Doctor Who, but come on, she is incredible as Melia, and Karina Reeves as Best Girl Fiora. Okay, I need to shut up because I'm going on my long streak of gushing about this game, but that's just how good this game is. I can gush about one thing, and it could go on for an hour. Definitive Edition adds so much new stuff, and all of it is amazing. The story and quest trackers and markers are a godsend. The UI and menus have been brushed up and are so much easier to navigate through. The incredible music is even better. During battles, arts will now be highlighted if they are the right one to use against a certain enemy or in a certain position. And you can kill the final boss with all of your crew members in their underwear without it affecting stats. Future Connected, while not as good as the main game, is still enjoyable as hell, and makes Melia's character even better. And even with the graphics from the original Wii release, this game would be a 10 out of 10 game, just for everything it has going for it. But with Definitive Edition, this game is actually perfect. By the time of this review, I will have played this game start to finish almost twice. I have actually bullied as many people I know into getting this game if they have a Switch, or Persona 5 Royal if they have a PlayStation, and I continue to bully them if they haven't. I said this during the Persona 5 Royal section, but I really don't like JRPGs and the combat in them. But I just cannot get enough of the combat in this game, and I love it, and I don't know who wouldn't. I also said that Violet in Persona 5 Royal is one of my favorite characters of all time, and is one of my 2 characters I have given a 10 out of 10. And if I didn't, then just pretend I did. And the other character is Shulk. Shulk is a clear 10 out of 10 character. And every time I thought of something that would make sense for him to do in the story, he was already ahead of me. Shulk is so brilliantly written and is part of the reason this game is a 10 out of 10. Please, out of every game on this list, if you had to get one, get this game. It is so criminally underrated, and it deserves to succeed wildly. So Aiden, you must have played the sequel since you adore this game so much, right? Well, I did, and I really quickly want to talk about some spoilers and an amazing touch they added to one of the characters. If you haven't played Xenoblade 2 and don't want to have it spoiled, go to this time. Can we talk about Elvis's necklace? The fact that this is now canon and in an official Xenoblade game is such a sweet touch that it makes me adore this game even more. So that does it for my top 10 games of 2020. Do you agree with my picks? Well, let me know your favorite games of last year in the comments below. Alright, take care guys.